If you are currently suffering from a massive amount of credit card debt, or at least you think it's a massive amount, well, just understand you're not alone. Millions and millions of Americans currently are carrying credit card debt. Some $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 in credit card debt. And in just a moment, you're going to hear some of these stories, what some people are doing. Again, it's a huge problem, but you're not alone. That's the key. Now, what I want you to take away from this video is very simple. You need to understand that credit card debt is normal. We have normalized it here in the United States. However, if you can pay it off quickly, you need to do so, especially right now in this current economy where we are likely headed towards a recession, which means paying off credit card debt today is going to be key to make it through the recession of 2025 or 2026. So today, I'm going to break all this down, explain how millions of Americans are contributing to the highest credit card debt we have ever seen here in the United States. We are up over $1 trillion in credit card debt alone. That's a massive number. So I'll get to that in just a moment, explain what is going on and what you should be doing to fix this situation. But before I do, all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So first off, credit card debt has been normalized here in the United States. The average credit card user currently has over $6,000 in credit card debt. Most Americans have more than just one credit card as well. That is turning into a problem. Some, every time they max out their credit cards, they go and get a new one that they can go and add to it. That's a problem, and it's a never-ending cycle. Just listen to this though. I want to play you some clips. Look at this right here.
I have been financially not doing great. I am a nurse. Even though I am a nurse and I make good money, I don't have money, which is the sad part because of the choices that I've made.
It's that simple. A nurse probably making over $75,000 a year easily has $20,000 in credit card debt, and she's saying herself that she is not in a good place because of the choices that she has personally made. But look at this. This is another big issue.
Finance check-in, you know the drill. Debt remains the same, $41,905.14. And my checking account is now at $425 because I spent $25 on gas.
So somebody making whatever she makes, and it has $41,905 in credit card debt. You can see it right there. But yet in checking has $425. That is a huge red flag. If you have 10 times the amount in credit card debt as you do in checking, that's a huge issue. Millions of Americans cannot afford a simple emergency. Okay? The majority of Americans do not have an emergency fund. Even the basic, even Dave Ramsey says, start with a $1,000 emergency fund. Now, I agree with that. I agree with what Dave Ramsey says there. I also agree with what he says when he tells people you need to have a big, large emergency fund which has between 3 to 6 months of expenses. If you don't have that, you need to start building it. I agree with that. Now, as far as no debt whatsoever, well, there's some ways that you can play the banks against each other, and you can use their money to help build your life and create wealth. But the majority of Americans don't know how to do that. I absolutely love using credit cards. That's my personal favorite thing to do. Not like going and buying new clothes and new shoes and all these other things I don't need. But I love using credit cards to pay for everyday bills, get cash back, get air miles, so I can then go and travel for free. I especially love what Costco's doing now, where Costco, if you buy gas using the Costco credit card, they give you 5 cents back. I live in Washington State, okay, where we're paying about $4 a gallon. So getting 5% back is great. That's going to save me a lot of money. But again, If you cannot pay off the credit card, that 5% cash back does you absolutely no good. Okay? That's where Americans are at. Is many people are justifying their credit cards because, oh, I can get cash back. Yeah, great. I can get air miles. Great. But when you're paying, $80 a month in interest on that credit card and you can't pay it off for a whole year, well, does that $960 in interest, does that make up for the amount of money or the amount of air miles that you're going to get? In most cases, probably not. That's the issue. Look at this one as well. I want to play you this clip.
$1,789.32 is what I am currently holding for my debt with all my credit cards.
Keep in mind, she says all her credit cards. The majority of Americans have more than one credit card. That is part of the issue. We continue to open up new lines of credit because, well, I can't use that card. I can't use it because, well, it's maxed out. Okay? They won't raise my limit. Well, of course they won't. Why would a bank raise your limit when you are a risk? Americans are suffering an insane amount of credit card debt, and it's because of us. We continue to push this on the American people. Listen to this one as well.
Hi, my name is Mary, and my husband and I are on a journey to pay off $139,781 worth of debt. That balance includes 2 credit cards, a Discover credit card with a balance of $12,933, and a U.S. Bank credit card with a balance of $13,738.
So they have over $25,000 in credit card debt between 2 people. Okay. That's still a lot. They have a total of, was it $139,000 in debt? So like $110,000 of that is probably maybe personal. They're probably a home loan, right? Car loans, right? Additional debt. But against the credit card debt, when the average credit card interest rate is up over 21%, that's a huge issue. Think about it. You have $1,000 in credit card debt and you are paying 21% interest per year. That means $210 per year for every $1,000 in credit card debt you have. Let's say you have $5,000. That means you are paying over $1,000 in interest in 1 year. That is a huge, huge red flag. I see why Americans are struggling to get out of credit card debt, especially when you're battling against a 20% interest rate. But here's the other thing. Stop using credit cards. If you can't use them responsibly, which the majority of Americans cannot, stop using them. I want to show you this one as well. This is from a teacher. Look at this.
It's got the best of me. To paint the picture, I was a teacher that got my hands on $17K in credit card debt, and I started balling out.
Right there. He was a teacher. My guess is not making $150,000 per year, but he got 7 credit cards, started balling out. Yeah, that's where we get started. Where we get a credit card, it's like, oh, if you use or if you spend at least $4,000 over the next 60 days, we're going to give you this bonus. We're going to give you these air miles. We're going to give you this much back. Great. That means I still have to spend $4,000 in the next 60 to 90 days just to get that bonus. And guess what happens? You come out within the first month, you spend your $4,000, you receive your bonus that you were promised to get, but guess what you got to do now? You got to make the payments. That's where most people struggle. Listen to this one as well.
So let's talk debt, specifically credit card debt. I am $30,000 in credit card debt. Yeah, I know. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody. I talk to my friends about all the time about the what I use credit cards for, and they're like, you shouldn't do that. And then we start opening up that conversation. There's some dialogue there. But the majority of people do not want to talk about it. Talk to your kids, talk to your friends, talk to your family members. Because again, you may be experiencing this current situation in your life, but I guarantee you there's other people that are in the same boat. The majority of Americans have a credit card debt, have a credit card, and have debt. In 2025, currently, we're approaching like a 50-60% chance of a recession here in the United States. Holding on to credit card debt during a recession, not going to be a smart move. It's something that you need to get rid of as quick as possible. I'm not talking about filing for bankruptcy. Okay, I'm not talking about doing a debt consolidation, putting your 17 credit cards together and making one payment. Again, it could work. It will likely minimize your payment. It will minimize the stress level that you have, because instead of 17 payments, you only have one. That makes sense. But again, is there going to be a bank that's going to give you a good interest rate to take on all that debt and consolidate it? In some cases, yes. The majority of cases, no. It's just not going to happen. So, here's what I want to leave you with. Right now, Americans are suffering from an insane amount of credit card debt. Over $1 trillion in debt from credit cards alone. What you heard today, they're true stories. These are people on TikTok. Okay? On almost every single one of them, of these videos, or on many of them, you could see like their names. Okay? And so if you can see their names and you go search for them and just go to TikTok and type in credit card debt and look at the videos. I guarantee you're not alone. But understand this is the process that you go through. You have to start paying off your debt. Now, Dave Ramsey has a very good solution. It's called the debt snowball. You start with the smallest debt. So let's say you have a Capital One card. It has $300 as your total amount on there. So that's what you have. The next ones are $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Start with the smallest one. Pay that one off as quickly as possible. Make minimum payments on the other three. Pay the most you can on the smallest one. Because as soon as that is paid off, then you take the next minimum payment plus the amount that you just paid for that other credit card. Okay, the smallest one. And you now put those two together. And that's how you get this snowball. Because as you start paying off more and more credit cards, your payment gets bigger. So on the second card, it gets bigger. Then the third card, it gets bigger. And the fourth card, it gets bigger. And eventually, you pay off all your debt. But the one key is when you are paying the credit card debt off, you cannot keep spending. That's the big problem. That's where the majority of people fall in. That they are paying off their debt, but at the same time still using the cards. Now, I'm not trying to give you financial advice here. I'm just trying to show you that you are not alone. Millions and millions of Americans have the same amount, if not more, credit card debt than you. And they're able to actually live with it, get through it, pay it off. And eventually, hopefully, you come out on the other side and you are better off as a result. So, I just want to leave you with that. Again, I know there's a lot of people that have questions. What do I do? How do I fix it? If you have questions, more general questions, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. If it's more specific or you have some debt payoff story, whether it's a failed story or it's a successful attempt, please let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to read about it and also share it with others as well. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.